Saturday night, the Tide is going down to the jungles of Louisiana to tame some tigers. Let's take a look at it. Roll Tide, everybody. Everybody roll Tide. Saturday night, November the 9th, 2004, the Crimson Tide goes down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to Tiger Stadium, and we're going to try to make the world shake. They're going to shake for two reasons. One, it's going to be a pretty hype game. The crowd ought to be crazy. Two, after we get the win, the whole world is going to shake. The whole world of college football is going to shake, rattle, and tremble in fear, because the Tide has a chance to reestablish themselves as a serious challenger in the playoffs. Just real serious. Oh, yeah. It's not necessarily downhill after LSU, but it looks a lot more promising. Join me here. I will be here at kickoff. Watch it here. No need to sit down in Mobile, Alabama. No need to sit over there in Huntsville, Alabama, or Florence, Alabama by yourself. Just tune in to Tide Sports. I'm going to be right here. The Tide is a 2.5 favorite against LSU. The computer said we got a 69.8% chance of winning, and they also project that the Tide should win by 7.6 points. Wow, who's running these computers? They made a note in the article I was reading that this is analysis done based on playing on the same field. I'm like, how else are they going to play? That's crazy. LSU, let's see. They're going to try to hit it where it's hurt, folks, in the air. Garrett Nussmeier, he's attempted the 8th most passes in FBS. So we got to put pressure on him. LSU, this doggone Nussmeier guy, you know, his father is a coach, so he's a coach's kid. He has 20 touchdowns, but 9 interceptions on the season. But he has gone over the 2,000-yard passing mark. And, you know, however, in the past 4 games, I guess they kind of showing their his wear. 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. I want to kind of flip that. If he throws for 2 touchdowns, hopefully not. I hope we have 4 interceptions against him. He's a very aggressive thrower with the ball, kind of like that Brett Favre guy, the gunslinger. Let's say if the Tigers can get anything going on the ground, that would be a help. That would help them with balance. But they're the worst. They're the 3rd worst in rushing the football for touchdowns. So they really don't even try to run, which is good for us because it's not a weakness. It's just something we hadn't figured out as well yet. But he's a veteran QB, and he has Kyron Lacey, Aaron Anderson. If you don't know about them, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns between 2 of them. You got to cover folks in this game. LSU's rushing attack, like I say, you know, they didn't do nothing against A&M. Texas A&M, they picked up 35 yards on the ground, and they lost by 15 points, 38-23. If you watched that game, you just saw what you need to do to beat them. It was right there. It's the same thing that we need to kind of do, and it may take an athletic quarterback. That's one thing about Nussmeier. He's not exactly a statue, but Ty Simpson will run the ball, I think, better than him out of the pocket, to be honest. Nussmeier is just not that guy. He's a pocket passer. You know, he can run. All quarterbacks can run. Nobody's out there on crutches, so they can run. It's just that how effective can they be at running? Last game against Texas A&M, he took a lot of hits and threw a lot of interceptions, and I think he ended up negative 25 or 30 in yards because of the sacks. Their running back, Caden Durham. He hasn't been consistent at all. They just don't run the ball. So if they went heavy pass, that's kind of what I expect. You know, how people think they can win in the SEC throwing the ball 45 times against Tennessee, I don't know. You got to bang the ball. Come on, Coach Sheridan. Work with me. DeBoer, work with me. Alabama has given up 9 touchdown passes and has already, you know, not played well against some average SEC QBs, because Nico we lost to is not good. Pavia is a gamer. He's a game. He's gonna give you everything he got. He's a leader. He's probably the best leading quarterback in probably in the SEC. There you go, Pavia and Vandy. Nussmeier is probably the best pure passer, but like I said, his aggressiveness has gotten him into trouble. You can't be 2 for 1 touchdown interception ratio. That don't work. If you view him as above average, I mean, like I said, 7 interceptions, 7 touchdowns in the past 4 games. That just says that the SEC don't have really great quarterbacks to me. His aggressiveness is a blessing and a curse. He's not very mobile outside of the pocket, and I think Alabama must cover well and force him to throw before he's ready. Speed him up with pressure. Key players for them, like I said, Kyron and Aaron Anderson, 1,200 yards. Some boys can fly, and they can make adjustments to bad balls. So you really have to put pressure on Nussmeier to make sure that he's not taking advantage of our, I say, developed secondary, but still in development and making some moves because of injuries. You know, Keon Saab is out. And speaking of that, Keon Saab is out. And also Cole Adams is out. I think both of them out for the year. Keon Saab broke his foot. Cole Adams is out with a lower body injury. Now, when I looked at LSU's list, they've had people out the whole season, maybe a dozen or so of them, but they are missing a key point. They're senior left guard. They just got their right guard back last week. Now the senior left guard, he has an ankle issue. He had to have that tight wire, they call it tightrope surgery. Basically, they get something like fishing string and stick it through your ankle to give it some stability. The Steelers quarterback, Kenny Pickett, he had 2 of those surgeries, and it's just a repetitive thing. But anyway, this guy, Garrett Dellinger, he has given up 6 sacks in 4 years. He's not giving up a sack this year, but he's not playing. So I'm hoping that his replacement would not be so stingy with the sacks. That's what I'm hoping. The linebacker Wes Weeks and the wide receiver C.J. Daniels is also listed as questionable, but they got so many people out, and I've already gone over our injuries for the Crimson Tide. Looking at the stats, Alabama's offense averages 37.6 points per game, making them 16th in FBS. Offense, not too shabby. We get 431 yards a game. That makes us 37th on the list. Rushing, we're up in rushing, but not where we need to be at 177 yards per game. That makes us 47th in FBS. I want to be higher than that after this game. Total passing, we're in 42nd. I'm all right with that, you know how, because that's 254 yards. So we can get 254 yards, and like I said, improve the rushing yards in this game, I can almost guarantee you a victory. LSU's offense, 34th in points, 32.5 points a game. Their offense is 21st, 448 yards a game. Ooh, wee, ooh. But you know, you gotta look at who they were playing against. And every time they play somebody tough, which they lost to USC. USC is not a good team. It was early in the season, so you know everybody's scared of everybody the first game of the season, especially if you got a big team coming up. USC is not very good. It appears that Texas A&M was good until SEC is the Wild Wild West. I mean, it's crazy. Anyway, rushing, they are 111th in production. I mean, in the country. Their production is 115 yards on the ground, but when this is where their bread and butter is, they're number 6 in passing. They spin it. They pick up 332 yards a game. Like I said, if you let them. Taking a look at the LSU defense. The LSU defense is 54th in the nation, giving up 22.8 points per game. The Russian defense is 48th. They allow about 130. We're going to need a lot more than that. Their pass defense is 86. They give up 230 yards a game, but here's the thing, folks. They're ranked 9th in sacks. So our boys are going to have to be on their P's and Q's. We cannot give up no averaging or 3.5 sacks per game. No. We can't give that up. Taking a look at the Alabama Defense, Alabama defense is ranked 19th in the nation, giving up 18.6 points a game. And based on the previous scores, I want to say that average is actually trending down, or if it's flat. I got to check that for next time. The rushing defense is 65th in the nation, 145 yards. We can't give 145 yards to a team that doesn't run the ball well like LSU. Just cut that in half, really. 34th in pass defense. I told you, these guys are really focused on getting in front of the ball. They play coverage, so sometimes the run gets away from them because they don't want to get killed in coverage. Maybe we'll get some more effective pass rushers or edge rushers later, but for now, we are what we are. 34th in, 54th in the nation in sacks. We average 2.25 sacks per game. We got to get that number way up. Alabama has a positive turnover margin of 0.89. Just means that we take the ball away more than we give it away. LSU, by the way, they have a positive number as well at 0.25, but we're better at it than they are. The Tide defense has 11 sacks in 5 games, but it would be a challenge for Alabama to add to those numbers because, like I said, LSU hasn't given up that many sacks. They have given up the fewest sacks in the nation, but they have a lineman missing. Our secondary, they say it hasn't been reliable, but I think it's been adequate because, Kane Womack was just talking about the identity of the team is to be, they want to take the ball away. That's their identity. Is it the stuff to run, hard hitting? No, he said it right now. It is to take the ball away. And as long as you do that, I'm good with it. Milroe was on fire last year, 4 touchdowns that he ran against them, 155 yards. We're going to need those legs. No limit on the rushes, but I know we're going to need his legs this week. Alabama's best rushing performance came last week with the help of Milroe, of course, but 270 yards, 4 touchdowns. We need something like that this week. Going into the keys of the game, we must protect the ball on offense, limit fumbles, or interceptions to 0. Really, especially on the road. You don't get sloppy and get behind. We got to master offensive balance. We need to seek 250 yards and pound and weaken this defense, run the clock, dominate the clock, and let that lead to the explosive plays on the ground, making passes, rare, but highly effective. So, keep that number down, keep it into the lower 20s as far as passing. But just looking up at the games, man, they gave up 178 yards on the ground to the teams they lost to. So I'm thinking we need about 250 yards rushing from our offense, and I wanted to come from the running backs, but hey, a game like this, lose a lead time match, Milroe, do you don't sit there and take them hits. Don't hold the ball too long. Hey, if they turn their back on you, get out. Number 3, it's crowd. It's Death Valley. They all doing all this stuff. Take the crowd out with first downs. Make this game quick and boring. Hopefully sometime this week they use that to, use this time to master their audibles, their hand signals, smoke signals on the sideline, you know what I'm saying? Parakeet, pigeons, whatever it is, pigeons, semaphore, whatever they had to do, get their signs down. If you ain't got it down now, it's probably too late. The defensive keys, if that's the identity, live that turnover identity. Coach Kane said that's who the defense is. Fine. 10 turnovers in 3 games. That's great. We need to keep that going. We need about 4 turnovers and create ways to take the ball away while applying pressure. Knocking down short passing game. Get these hands up and knock those passes down. Don't forget, if you can't get there, get your hands up. Smother the run. They're bad at running the ball. Let's keep it that way. Hit hard, wrap up, make it an implausible option. Like, yeah, we should run on this 2nd and 2, but we don't want to turn it into a 3rd and 5 by running the ball, so let's keep throwing it. They keep throwing it, more chance we get to take it away. That's just, it is what it is. Our boys got to be ready to pounce on it. And get more game changers, Usually they come in with a goal of 12 game changers per game, but we need at least 13 16 would be excellent. And that includes 3 and outs, but you need more interceptions, sacks, fumbles. A safety would be great. I know they're rare, but hey, if you get the opportunity, get that. If the Crimson Tide can put these things together and stay committed to the run, and create game-changing plays on defense, especially turnovers, then I think the Tide will roll 30-17. Hop on that midnight flight to T-Town and get ready for Mercer. That's all we want to do. Stay healthy. After that, going into Mercer. So join me here on Tight Sports, and let's watch it together. Remember to join me Mondays at 7:30 for Around the Herd, where we'll review the LSU victory. And that's all I have concerning this game right now, folks. Remember, make me a regular part of your viewership. Hit that like button on the way out of here, and always remember, roll, Tide, roll.